Ijose and Walker will meet at the jump. And Syracuse controls from the get-go with Dominique Darius.
You're going to see a very physical Cal defense.
Celia from beyond the arc, picking up right where she left off on Sunday, draining a three-pointer. For the Golden Bears, it's the exact same five that was rolled out Sunday in a win against Wake Forest. It is a depleted team. They're without their starting freshman point guard, Puff Morris, as Sakima Walker tries to get the easy layup. And for the Orange, Coach Jack, she made a change on Sunday against Virginia. Starting Aurora Almond, she gets another start here today. Coach Jack liked what she saw from the sophomore.
Excited to see this matchup between Uche Izoje and Sakima Walker down low. We'll talk about that a little bit later, as you saw Izoje miss that elbow jumper.
There's the matchup you're talking about, and Izoje wins it there. Syracuse pulling out fast, giving it to Dominique Darius. She works inside the paint and gets the easy deuce, and Syracuse up 5-0 early on in the first quarter.
So smooth down the lane, and Dominique Darius, very nifty.
As though she got some contact to the face. Darius again working now on a defense with Miracle Shepherd. Both these teams pride themselves on the defensive end. Layup there is no good, and Almond gets the board. Here's Layla Filia, drained the three to start this contest. Had a career-high 38 points, and her partner in the scoring was Sophie Burrows with 21, 7 three-pointers as well.
Such a confident shot that she had last matchup against UVA after a disappointing loss against the Hokies.
Darius looking for back-to-back buckets, but Burrows gets fouled trying to get the rebound.
You have to love how this Orange team crashes the glass, especially after an attempted shot. Again, we talked about it briefly in the beginning, but they're 6th in the nation in offensive rebounds, averaging just over 17 a game, and they almost got one there.
Ijose has also been such a force, the freshman for SU. No luck there. Burrows once again trying for a rebound. His bodies hit the ground. Miracle Shepherd a little slower to get up.
Should be a physical matchup, and you're already seeing it very early as bodies are hitting the floor, as you were saying. Unfortunately, Syracuse couldn't get an offensive rebound for those last two attempts.
Both these teams pride themselves on the defensive end. Cal has held 6 Power 4 teams under their average scoring. Syracuse is averaging just exactly, actually, 74 points a game. Moving inside, but losing the ball is Gisela Mall. More bodies hit the floor. Syracuse comes out with it. Layla Filia on the other end, 1v1. Sweet move around. Can't get the layup to go, though.
And I'm sure that's one Filia wants back right there. An easy lay down the lane. Taking charge on the break, racing down the sidelines and stepping through. Nice little Euro step. Just missed it off the edge of the rim.
Corner three for the Golden Bears. And Taylor Barnes, one of the prominent freshmen on this Cal team. Only had 1 point against Wake Forest, but has been really impressive early on. Coach Smith really happy to see what she's gotten from this freshman class. It's one of the highly rated recruiting classes that the Golden Bears have ever had, and credit to that is the success of last season as Barnes gets the easy deuce.
They've had a lot of roster turnover and it hasn't always been easy this year. 0-4 away from Haas Pavilion and Berkeley. But she's proud of what this young team has done so far and anticipates a great future as well.
Cal is winless on the road, and Coach Smith said that's because they've played in tough places, and it is a new squad, so you're going to see those hiccups, but is liking the basketball they've played lately, especially away from home.
And to her point, she also mentioned they're also just really good at home. 9-1, excuse me, at home at Haas Pavilion.
Shepherd calling out instructions. Moving inside, Ijose standing tall. Barnes opts not to shoot the three. And Mall momentarily got the rebound before a whistle. Dominique Darius picking up the personal foul, her first of the game. As we mentioned at the top, Cal loves to shoot the three. Last season, they shot the most they've ever shot in program history and most they've ever made in program history as well. And that's really what has been the staple of Coach Smith's team.
The point tallies really are spread evenly around this team. I know that Louisville Twydale leads all scorers for the Bears with 13, but they haven't had a 20-point scorer since San Jose State, which was a 50-point victory weeks ago. They like to spread the ball evenly as a team. Anybody can really put the ball in the basket.
Giselle Amal knocks in 2 free throws. Julia called with the travel, and her facial reaction kind of said it all. I don't think she was expecting that call.
Yeah, just a look of shock as that was almost knocked away from Dominique Darius.
Orange without a bucket in almost 3 minutes. They got out to a quick 5-0 start. It's been all Cal since. Feeding it inside to Walker. Doesn't get the layup to go. Walker was a force Sunday against Wake Forest. She had 17 points along with 3 blocks and another whistle and another travel for the Orange. Uncharacteristic from Coach Jack's team, and she's going to make some substitutions. Olivia Schmidt checking in. Comes in for Dominique Darius.
Did look a tad uncharacteristic for Almon to be bringing the ball up. She's been a welcome start for these Orange in the last few games, but kind of a silly turnover there for the Orange.
Schmidt's minutes have been kind of all over the place this season, but she got tied a season high 14 on Sunday against UVA. Coach Jack likes to use all of her bench, likes the depth that she has, and really goes off of a feel factor of what she thinks will work in the moment best. That layup not working so well. Jose comes down with it, and Schmidt can hustle the other way. Has Filia in the corner. That 3 is up. Allman gets the easy rebound. Inside, this is a matchup that many are wanting to see. Jose on Walker. 2 of the best bigs in the conference.
And that is the bread and butter for the Orange as they get a steal, but it's the second chance points, and now Zoje.
Easy layup in transition for Jose. Jose coming into this year as a freshman, not much experience other than the basketball she played in Japan, while Walker has plenty of collegiate experience being on a host of teams. 3 doesn't go once again for the Golden Bears. Allman with the rebound. Burrows tries a deep tray. She knocks 7 down on Sunday. And things have started on the defensive end for the Orange, with Jose getting the easy layup off the steal. Syracuse ahead early on here in the Dome. Off to really impressive starts this season.
And what a matchup it'll be defensively, but also on the glass. And how impressive that is for Uche Zoje doing that as a freshman. Look at the points per game, also averaging nearly 3 blocks per game. Shakima Walker has really climbed her way to the level she has as a grad student at Cal.
Jose can't get that jumper to fall. Walker has checked out. Cal made some substitutions during the break. Falling to the ground is Louisville Twydale. Getting the whistle though.
We've seen a lot more attack from Twydale down the lane as opposed to the last matchup they had against the Demon Deacons. Very big surprise to me, at least. She didn't go to the line last matchup.
Twydale known for her 3-point shooting. She hit 3 last time these two teams played when Cal came out on top in Berkeley, 75-69. It's been a really prolific score for Coach Smith's team this campaign. Olivia Schmidt handling the point guard duties. Donez glued to Schmidt and coming away with the steal. Both sides showing their defensive prowess. But really, both coaches want to build their foundation on the defensive end. Getting it up inside to Ojukwu, and a tough layup falls. Ojukwu just 5'5", getting that over the 6'3" Izoze.
What a shot that was. Look at the leap in the vertical that she had in receiving that pass as well and going up strong against a great defender in Izoze.
Filia hit the early bucket, has been pulled since. Nice move off the glass and in. That is how Layla Filia can get 38 points in a game with moves like that.
That patented step through is lethal, and there's not much you can do with how athletic she is, especially down low. She can score in different ways.
Rydell once again feeding it inside. Defense there, hitting the floor, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow pointing in favor of Syracuse.
So physical thus far, and I'm loving it from both teams. As you can see down low, Ernie Thompson getting physical in the jump ball, and then how about the bench also for Syracuse getting loud? Last home game, a disappointing loss against the Virginia Tech Hokies. And what do you notice in that game? It was Megan Duffy and her squad being very loud from the bench as well, and it almost really silenced the crowd too, how dominant they were in the dome.
And Coach Jack said if the bench players aren't getting into the game, they still have a responsibility to be cheerleaders on the bench. Julia thought about setting it to the corner, opts to go her own way. And it's off of Syracuse, and it'll be Cal ball as Dominique Darius comes back in. The starting point guard comes in for Olivia Schmidt. Shepard had 10 rebounds against Wake Forest along with her 7 points. Once again working it inside, and that time Ojukwu had no luck getting it around Journey Thompson.
Coach Smith is rallying for a foul from the official on the sidelines. I'm loving how physical and how they're just going right after this defense of Syracuse, not shy at all.
Good ball movement from the Golden Bears, and once again it's a nice layup from Ojukwu. 4 quick points for the redshirt sophomore off the bench. It's a bench that Coach Smith doesn't go too deep in. They just played 2 players off the bench Sunday, and something that she knows she'll have to start trusting more players as conference play gets later going.
Yeah, she played 7 players last game against Wake Forest. Someone has to pick up minutes for sure in the absence of Puff Morris, who's out again today for the Bears. But so far, they've been hanging in there just fine against these Syracuse Orange.
Darius feeding it inside, but wasn't enough juice on it. And it's another turnover for Syracuse. Once again, it's getting to see a pattern with Cal, just feeding it inside, whether it's Walker or Ojukwu in the paint. They want to move it inside. Haven't seen that many threes yet, which I think is kind of a bit of a surprise here in this first quarter.
For sure, it has surprised me. You haven't really seen many threes from either side. California has just been attacking down low in Syracuse.
Inside once again. Ojukwu. Offensive board, and Thompson looks like she took kind of a whack to the back of her head, gets up though.
You don't see Syracuse really give up too many offensive rebounds, but they've already given up 2 tonight.
Shy Hawkins, the sophomore, coming into the game. Another player who can be a real spark plug off the bench for Coach Shack's team. Izoze, it's been such a nice surprise for Syracuse, the freshman. And she'll head to the free throw line, has earned National Freshman of the Week, ACC Rookie of the Week.
Izoje's so dynamic. Didn't have a crazy scoring night last game against Virginia, as that was really Burroughs and Felia's night. Went 3 for 10 from the field. Still leads dominantly in blocks per game for her team, averaging 2.9 a game. But Izoje has been one of the best freshmen in the ACC and in the nation.
It's been a big reason why the Orange have that 14-3 record. comes up short on the free throw, but an offensive board. He gets it right back in the paint. This time Walker's back into the game. And causing some trouble there for Izoje. Gisela Mall comes back in for the Golden Bears.
So you're seeing more of the usual for Syracuse, still crashing the glass, getting offensive rebounds. They're just missing a few, just barely in the low post. As you saw Izoje not cash in down low. So very close, as you saw Philia also miss in the low post as well a few times.
And we won't see that premier matchup as Izoje heads to the bench for the closing of the quarter, and that means Thompson will be facing up Walker. Wydell thought about the three, opts to go inside, but plenty of big bodies inside for the Orange, and she turns the ball over. Here comes Shy Hawkins the other way. Nearly lost it. And then coming in from behind is Twydell, watch out. Dominique Darius hitting the deck. Jumping up with a smile, though.
Yeah, a low-scoring first quarter we're in the Dome. The Syracuse defense forces 20 turnovers a game, and you're seeing it already early against the Golden Bears.
Not surprised to see a defensive battle. Philia looking to get going at the end of the quarter. Just can't find a consistent rhythm yet. But it was in the second half against Virginia's where she really took off, and Coach Jack said that they all kind of went on her back and let her guide the ship home for a victory. And she said that can happen with any player on this team. They're going to rally around whoever's got that hot hand and go as far as they can go. Shepard with the clock winding down, feeds it to the outside. No three-pointer again from Cal, and nearly another turnover. There is the three at the horn, and it nearly went from Twydell, but that ends the first quarter. Syracuse ahead 12-10. It's been a defensive showing and an offensive showing at times as well. We'll be back in the second quarter from the Dome. To start today, and that's really the bread and butter of their offense.
And what a surprise it's been to see how they've attacked down low. Maggie Robinson was talking about how they've taken over 400 three-pointers on the year. They really like the three ball, but we've seen so far today, they're going right after Uche Izoje. That's a turnover again.
Another turnover, and Cal is just shooting 3 of 15 from the field so far. Here's that premier paint matchup that we were looking for. Walker on Izoje, and Izoje, a smooth turnaround jumper. Doesn't get better than that.
The poise right there to make that turnaround fader on a very experienced Sakima Walker is just amazing in the young Izoje. What a shot that was.
Wide open opportunity from three, and it's still, the struggles continue. Gisela Mall can't get it to go. Darius turning the ball over. And foul on Izoje.
Back at that last
foul. Here's the bucket. Yeah.
That last bucket from Izoje. A turnaround Jay, feeling very comfortable near the short corner. How confident was that shot? And you love to see it from a young freshman in Uche Izoje.
Shepard working her way inside. Struggles from the field continue for Cal. Can't get a consistent offense going. Syracuse, not much better, but Aurora Allman getting the offensive board and the putback. That's now 6 offensive boards for the sophomore.
And as long as they get those offensive rebounds, they'll have a chance in any game. They're just so good, even at the national ranking, getting their own buckets for a second chance point.
Allman defending the three there, and she really wasn't much of a fixture to start this season, but Coach Jack has loved what she's seen from her in practice, and now she's earning the minutes that Coach Jack feels she deserves. Shy Hawkins, a free throw line shot can't fall. Cal hustles the other way. Looking almost for Walker, a foul inside, and Maul will head to the free throw line.
More attack down the low post. And how about Gisela Mall and filling in for Puff Morris, the 5-star from Rancho Cucamonga. He's been out for the last few games for the Golden Bears. Gisela Mall has done a very good job filling in the lefty from Cedar Park, Texas. This is a team that has had their struggles here and there this season. Had a lot of roster turnover, as we talked about with Coach Smith, knocking down that first free throw. She is one of these young players that he's looking forward to taking the reins and leading this team to a new era, a new chapter after a really good season last year.
Mall comes over from Texas. She's one of 3 transfers on this squad. Both these teams utilizing the transfer portal in the offseason, as so many squads across the country are doing. Olivia Schmidt back in at point guard. Getting over it to Felia. Moving inside. That one can't go either, and Felia holding her foot. And concern here for the Orange as Coach Jack hustles out to check in on her star player. Filia remaining down. Dome has gone silent. Filia now rising to her feet, and the Dome crowd giving her a warm applause. A scary scene for Syracuse, and Layla Filia is coming off a career-high 38 points against UVA. And here's what happened as she was driving into the paint.
Looks to be just an awkward landing in a way, as you can see her ankle roll at the very bottom of your screen.
The previous play is under review.
Step aside as Syracuse ahead of Cal in the second quarter.
The previous play is under review for an unobserved.
the break, the officials looked to see if the contact on Layla Thelia, where she rolled her ankle, met the criteria of a flagrant foul. It was a very quick review, and that's what they're just explaining to the head coaches right now. There is no flagrant foul on Sakima Walker. Incidental contact. Of course, that doesn't excuse the fact that it was still a painful roll of the ankle for Layla Thelia.
This place, as you were hearing, was very silent. You could hear our pen drop at the moment. This is the star player of Syracuse coming off a career high, and you never want to see her possibly get injured, but glad to see her doing much better on the bench after being briefly consoled by her head coach, who immediately checked on her, and Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack.
After review, we are upgrading to an F1. Syracuse, 2 shots, no lineup, and gets the ball at the division line.
So the officials make the adjustment. It is a flagrant foul, penalty 1 on Sakima Walker. It's for contact to the stomach area that was unnecessary. And it will be 2 shots at the free throw line plus the ball for Syracuse, and it'll be Sophie Burrows taking those free throws.
Interesting call there as the forearm extended was the ruling as it was upgraded.
Burrows cashing in on both free throws, and it was Gisela Mall who gets the flagrant there. It was a crowded paint area. So with that being a flagrant, Syracuse retains the ball, so they have an opportunity to really stretch out this lead at the start of the second quarter. Inside to Burrows, and Sophie Burrows was scoreless up until those free throws, and now she's got 4 quick points.
Great cut down low for Burrows, and nice 4-point swing, or 4-point possession on the court for Burrows as Syracuse increases their lead.
Sakima Walker yet to really get going for the Golden Bears. That ball thrown away, and Burrows may have a chance at some more easy points. She does. Now Sophie Burrows, the player for Cal, they don't want to see heat up. She had 21 points on Sunday, and if she gets the hot hand going, she can really be a threat.
For sure, 7 of 8 from a 3-point range as Coach Sharma Smith calls timeout.
Coach Smith has seen enough as she calls the timeout, and here is that defensive effort from Burrows, and well, good job by Olivia Schmidt on the defensive end, and then Burrows out in transition, finishing off the easy 2.
The Bears have been very careless with the rock so far in this first half, but Burrows, if she can expand her scoring, besides the 3-pointer, she can be really dangerous. As you saw last game against the Cavaliers, 7 of 10 from the field, 7 of 8 from 3-point range. Dynamic, and what a confidence booster that game had to be, especially for Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack. It's been trying to instill that confidence in her amidst the shooting struggles that she's had all season long. She is a captain of this team, and she has to hit those shots, but there's other ways to impact the game besides shot making.
Burrows is the only returning starter from last year, and she shot the 3 ball at 40% clip last season, this season at 29, so she can do even better from beyond the arc, and you saw that. She gets another steal, and Cal is getting really careless with the basketball in this second quarter. Since that flagrant foul call, it's been all Syracuse. As Schmidt tries a jumper. Shepard controlling the point guard duties. And she's done nearly all game. Taylor Barnes, she's a player who can hit from beyond the arc as well. The offense just hasn't quite yet flowed for Cal. Barnes trying to stand up. Izose swings it back out. Walker, a high arcing shot goes, and it's a good sign for Cal to see the ball go in the basket for Walker.
Absolutely, and Sakima Walker has really clawed her way in the collegiate ranks. Now at her 3rd school. She came from a really solid program in South Carolina, the runner-up for the NCAA title last season.
Walker also spent some time at junior college in Florida, so she has quite the resume for a collegiate star, but maybe not necessarily the minutes. She's getting an opportunity here as Burrows finally misses. Running the floor is Twidell. And some good offensive run there from Cal. They have 4 quick points.
This Cal team can fight, and we talked with Coach Smith that she has a Muay Thai background. She takes his team out to go fight with her, and she wants to see how physical and tough they can be. And you see how physical they are so far against a very physical Syracuse team.
That's why this team prides themselves on the defensive end. And Coach Smith has those, and that's a good sign for Syracuse seeing Layla Filia, and she's going to get a really nice ovation as she checks back into this game. It was a scary fall where she rolled her ankle, but good sign to see her back in this one.
It absolutely is.
Filia, one of the captains for this team, and Coach Jack had to have a serious conversation with her about, is that want and drive still there? Because she also has a lot of experience as Ijose comes up with the rebound. Filia coming over from Texas and Michigan, and she told Coach Jack, I still have that drive, I still have that want. She wants to be a leader and a driving force on this team. Moving inside, and ankle seems fine there.
And I'm sure Layla Filia would have wanted her Texas tenure to end a little bit better, but that scoring game that she had against the Cavaliers reminded me a little bit of the Michigan Layla Filia, and that's a great sign for Coach Felicia Leggett-Jack.
Walker, count it, and the basket. Zakima Walker warming up here in this second quarter, and that's something Cal will want to see. And here's Filia's latest bucket, and so smooth getting into the paint.
It is not easy to play on a bum ankle sometimes, but you see her toughing it through. And as I was saying, she started her career at Michigan, where she was a dynamic scorer in the Big Ten, 14.1 points a game, and then made her way towards Texas, was there last season, and then transferred here to Syracuse. She's dealt with issues, she's persevered with her vision, but so far she's been a great leader for this Orange squad.
And Filia missed a few games earlier this year because of an ankle problem. It's been a long collegiate journey for her. Not an easy one, but she's persevered and is playing some great basketball at the moment. Here's Kira Scott, just checked into the game. The sophomore has a mid-range jumper, and it goes. And that's the bench impact that Coach Jack wants right away, checking into the game, scoring.
Absolutely, and you see Kira Scott doesn't always average great amount of points, just about 3.3 a game, but making an impact early can be huge for Syracuse.
And making an impact on the defensive end, interfering with that pass. Scott started 6 games last year, hasn't found the starting lineup this season, and can't control that pass from Burrows. It was coming in hot for sure.
And speaking of turnovers for California, they already have 8 today. They average 15.4 turnovers a game. So far heading in the wrong direction.
Turnovers, especially on the road, can be so detrimental. Nice job working the ball inside for Cal. Donez with a nice feed to the freshman Barnes, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Donez, a nice pass down low. They dribble from Barnes going to the line. Sometimes you really want your opposition to earn it at the line. Here's Barnes going to earn her points for her Bears.
Barnes is one of only 3 freshmen in the conference to rank in the top 10 in points, rebounds, three-pointers, and assists. Barnes and Huff Morris, the other freshman starter on this team, the point guard. Those two are quite the duo at the start of the season. Some of the best freshman play we saw in the ACC.
And that is why Coach Smith is so confident in the future of this team. When you have players like them, Morris and Barnes, she thinks they'll be in great hands in the years to come.
Now trying to keep Syracuse on the perimeter. Burrows working her way near the paint. And Sophie Burrows has got 8 points all in this second quarter. Here's Walker. That won't be an easy matchup for these Syracuse forwards, and they get a jump ball, and the arrow once again is pointing in favor of Syracuse. Schmidt handling point guard duties, coming off the bench. As I mentioned earlier, she's been in and out of the rotation as well, but Coach Jack has really liked what she's seen from the young point guard, and she'll head to the free throw line.
And Schmidt is not the tallest guard in the world, but she plays with so much heart. As you can see, you're fearless down the lane, heading to the line for a few shots. She has really been a vital piece for this backcourt of Syracuse as of late. Last game didn't have any points, but she did have 5 assists, dishing it out very well, and also had 2 steals against UVA.
And that 2 steals, that's what will bring a smile to Coach Jack, always working on the defensive end. And over break, Schmidt was accepted into Syracuse's communications school, Newhouse, something that she'd been working towards, and has quite a big social media presence as well. Getting many of her teammates involved across all the social media pages and trading both free throws there. Good feed out into the corner. Cal still not really wanting to try threes, something that they've tried a lot this season. Shepard snaking her way into the paint. Burrows comes up with the rebound before a whistle. We'll stay with the Golden Bears.
And I would have really liked to see Isis Johnson-Musa shoot that 3 right there. As you were saying, not as many three-point attempts as we forecasted. Almost a turnover, and then that is a turnover almost.
Nearly. Walker comes up with it. Johnson-Musa did not play against Wake Forest, and there's Coach Smith leaning a little bit more into her bench. And there Syracuse does come up with a well-deserved turnover. Schmidt is able to hang on with it as she almost got tripped up by her own teammate. Burrows saves it from flying out of bounds.
3rd time's the charm on a finally successful pickoff for this defensive Syracuse in that last defensive possession.
Both coaches certainly won't be happy with the amount of turnovers from their sides. Felia again, so smooth, so easy from the guard, putting the Orange ahead here before the end of the quarter.
Well, I think that ankle's doing just fine right now for Layla Felia, and the step through, the patented step through that she has worked this whole season, her whole career, so smooth and almost unstoppable.
Maybe one more defensive possession here for the Orange. Walker, and that is something that I think Cal will want to do more of in the second half. Find Sakima Walker inside the paint. She can be so efficient, averaging 12 points this season. Got a 3-second difference between the game and shot clock. Felia took a glimpse at her head coach. The double team comes from Cal. Felia once again, this time with the help of the glass. He's really ending the half on a good note as Cal tries to get one more shot off. That won't count. It doesn't go as Syracuse made 5
shots. Even if she has her struggles, even if her shooting numbers aren't exactly the greatest, but keep shooting, and you can have a game like you did against Virginia where you shoot 7 of 8 from downtown.
Dome ready to go for this 3rd quarter. Felia, only player in double figures with 11 points. Coach Smith was wanting changes on the offensive end. They get it down low to Walker, and that's easy pickings for Sakima Walker. She's up to 9 points, leading all Cal scorers. Beautiful
footwork from Sakima Walker, and I'd have to think that Coach Smith might try to target her more down the low post as the game goes on.
Dominique Darius taking it for herself, getting the layup. Darius shared the point guard minutes with Schmidt in that first half. Both did really well controlling things for the Orange. Widell hasn't Really attempted too much for three. Walker gets that one to go, and it's an easy rebound for Uche Izoje. Other way, whistle, and Darius really aggressive start to the second half. She'll head to the free throw line.
Foul shot number 1, Miracle Shepherd. Personal foul number 1, team foul number 1.
Syracuse at their largest lead of the day at 11. Has not trailed so far against the Bears. We know this California team loves to fight. They are physical. There is still plenty of time left for this Bears team to play down the stretch.
There is Coach Smith. After such a successful last season, she got rewarded with a new 5-year contract. In her 7th year coaching the Golden Bears, and her first role as a head coach as well. And she's done a lot of good things for this program, and a program that had to transition to the ACC just their 2nd year in the conference.
And she said in the past that she'll always want to be at a great academic institution. She graduated from Stanford, has coached at Boston College, has been with California for over a decade and a half.
There's the three we've been waiting from Twydale. It doesn't fall, but Cal does get the offensive board. Twydale will try her luck inside this time, passing it off to Walker. And that is how Cal can get back into this game with Sakima Walker. Does so well inside the paint, and Coach Smith is really liking how she's taken on the role as a steal here for Shepherd, and she'll cruise all the way to the cup, but doesn't get it to fall. A blown layup. Who will come up with it? Izoje hits the deck, and Sophie Burrows comes away. Philia, her first touch of the second half. She rolled her ankle in the second quarter, went out only momentarily, came right back in and didn't skip a beat. Hits the floor again there. Izoje getting her first offensive board. Can't get a clean shot up, still has it, takes the long two. It's right to Almond. Chaos on this possession for the Orange, and Darius will calm things down. Izoje working right in on Walker, winning the duel that time. And Syracuse stretches the lead to 13 points.
This Syracuse offense, crashing the glass, is just so unrelenting right there. Keeping the ball moving, getting more second chance opportunities, and Izoje doing the rest in the very end.
Walker at 6 points now in this second frame for Sakima Walker. A really aggressive start, something we did not see in the first half.
And you mentioned that if they want to get in this game, they can lean on Sakima Walker. Well, they have to get stops, and they had an opportunity to get multiple stops. They just can't get the rebound when they go against Syracuse's offense.
Do all the scoring you want, but you got to stop them on this end. Philly's three doesn't go. Again, bodies hit the deck. And our officials are calling a jump ball in the possession error this time in favor of Cal. Substitutions for both teams. Izoje will head to the bench. She has 2 personal fouls, so have to be cautious of that. Journey Thompson steps in. Darius aggressive once again, puts up a bit of a wild shot, and it's too far off.
I almost heard some contact down low. Don't know if Darius got fouled, but no call from the baseline official.
Looks like she was protesting something to the official. It will just be a imbalance under the basket. Gives it to Burrows. Burrows ended the second quarter really nicely. Bit of a scoring streak. Looked to feed inside. There was lots of traffic in there, and Cal finally does get that stop they needed. Twydale, Walker, and it's that same play we've seen for the last 4 possessions. Twydale to Walker, an easy 2 points.
And if the three-point shot starts to fall, that can spell trouble for Syracuse. But if Sakima Walker has been the hot hand for this Bears offense in this second half, they just need to build on great, strong defensive possessions, and they could be right back in this game.
Philia trying to stop that. She can't quite find her shot to start this third quarter. Twydale shouting out instructions. Swinging the ball, Philia comes away with it. It bounces off the official. It stays in balance. And Filia will open her account for the second half with a steal and easy deuce.
And Coach Smith is protesting. She's very upset the official that possession continued despite hitting off the official on the sidelines. And I kind of don't blame her as Syracuse cashed in transition.
It looked as though the ball was going to trickle out of balance, so Syracuse catching a break there. Walker getting it from Twidell. This time she traveled. Syracuse had 2 travels in the first half, and here's that play with the official that Cal's head Coach Smith was not too happy about. Filia tipped it, and it looked as though it never did go out of balance. The official was, though, standing out of balance. So if that was a player, it would have been out of balance. But, of course, the official is kind of a different category.
For sure.
Darius' jumper is short, but Filia comes up with a long offensive board. Both teams priding themselves on the offensive glass. Filia off to Burrows. That shot doesn't go, but another possession for Syracuse. Cal just can't get those stops they need, and Burrows makes sure Syracuse doesn't leave empty-handed.
You know, rebounding, and especially offensive rebounding, is really about hunger. It's about want. And on that first offensive rebound, California just was not hustling right there to get the offensive board. And they paid the price, and so far they're back at the largest deficit they've faced this game.
Tie up inside, and it's a blocking foul. And that'll be our first break of this second half. Syracuse balance, and it's yet another turnover for the Golden Bears. The lead at 13 for the Orange. That is the largest today between the two sides.
And it's also amazing, by the way, to your previous point, how global basketball has become. And that's what Coach Smith was talking about, how great of an opportunity it was to play in Paris to open your season. Not a lot of teams can say they've done that.
Filia trying from 3, and that looked clean from Layla Filia. Up to 16 points today, coming off a career-high 38 against Virginia on Sunday. Walker, this time feeding inside to her fellow paint player in Naya Ojukwu. Ojukwu brought some nice minutes in the second quarter for Cal, really helped them claw back into it. We didn't see much of it with both of them on the floor at the same time as Aurora Almond gets the jumper to fall. Almond only got a point in that game on Sunday and looking to pick up her offensive game, and Coach Jack's really liked what she's seen from the sophomore as of late. Walker looking to try and repeat what just worked. That's another turnover for the Golden Bears.
It's just been a little too sloppy for California today, and that's been more of the same, unfortunately, for Coach Sharman Smith's team. But that's what happens when you have a really feisty defense in Syracuse. It can create mayhem for young offenses like the Golden Bears.
Olivia Schmidt, Shy Hawkins now on the ball, checking in for Syracuse late in this third quarter. Filia just drained the 3, couldn't get the jumper to go. Now could really use a run here to end the quarter. Looking for Walker inside the paint. Ojukwu looked to take it for herself, nearly lost it. Gets it back, swinging it inside, and that's Maul who hits the deck. And a foul on Journey Thompson.
Walking foul on number 2, Journey Thompson of Syracuse, her third person.
That foul will send Thompson to the bench, and Kira Scott, who made a brief appearance near the end of the second quarter, checks in.
You're still seeing that fight from the Bears. Body's still tumbling on the floor. They're still playing very hard. And that has to be encouraging for Coach Smith, but the shots just have to be more consistent falling in the hoop.
And Cal did not get that inbounds quick enough, a 5-second violation. And these turnovers are really piling up for Coach Smith's team. It's now 5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for Cal. And if you want to create any kind of run, you can't be turning the ball over like that.
For sure, and Sakima Walker was the hot hand. I'd like to see them go back to her and let her work in a low post as Filia knocks down an elbow jumper.
Filia holding the pivot foot, and Coach Jack liked that basket. Very animated.
Coach Jack fired up. I love it.
Will be even more fired up with this defensive intensity from her guards, Hawkins and Schmidt off the bench. And a whistle
Side out of bounds.
on Hawkins, and it will be a side out of bounds for Cal. And Shai Hawkins getting her hands in the mix there a little bit too much. And right when that whistle was called, we heard Coach Jack say, you gotta get your hands up, gotta get your hands up. She loves that quick in-person coaching moments.
I've heard the phrase before that your shots may not always fall, but defense is a mentality often. And that's what Syracuse's defense has been mainly today. Sometimes inconsistent from the field as another turnover from California.
Schmidt gives it to Scott, and Scott blows the layup, but Hawkins is right there to pick it up. She gets fouled, and we'll head to the line, and Kira Scott is not happy about that miss. And the Orange defense is really what Coach Jack, as I mentioned earlier, prides her teams around, and it's some of the best defense in the ACC. And blocks and shots, you look at every box score and you think it's mandatory that each player has to come up with a certain number of blocks or steals.
Well, combined as an average, they give up 58 points a game to all their opponents. And again, defense is a mentality. It's often about effort so many times. This is a long lineup for sure in Syracuse here and there, especially in the front court. But you see how physical they can be. They can get their hands in space at any point. And that can keep you in games, as I was saying before, if your shots aren't falling. So far, this team hasn't always been the most consistent from three-point range, but if you have a great defense and great rebounding, you can stay in any game.
Hawkins gets her first 2 points of the day. She has the ability to score. She got 12 points against Wake Forest earlier this season. As Kira Scott stepping up on the defensive end, right on cue. We're just talking about those blocks. She can register one for Scott. Scott now looking to make it happen on both ends, giving it to Hawkins. Hawkins just got those free throws and still looking for her first point from the field. Syracuse second possession opportunity. Scott just can't get it to roll. And Cal leaks through the Syracuse defense, and it's an easy two for Ojukwu. Haven't seen too many of those breaks for Cal where they get past that first block of Syracuse defense.
And some of the times where they've gotten past, they haven't finished down low, as we saw from Miracle Shepherd early in the first quarter.
Approaching the end of the third quarter, a quarter that has really been dominated by Syracuse and some sloppy play from Cal. Schmidt with the shot clock winding down, has to get something up. And Cal, not enough time for a 2-for-1. They'll look for the last shot of the quarter, and it's an easy one. It's a good end of the
time they spend exploring Paris, learning a new language, and trying new foods honestly helped them to grow closer and only strengthened their on-court chemistry.
Maggie, thank you so much. And Joseph, we were talking about it, and that's kind of a neat way to start the season. And I don't know this for a fact, but Cal is going to be one of the most traveled teams in all of the country this year.
For sure, and it may be more difficult for them already just being in the Atlantic Coast Conference. That's not an excuse at all for Coach Smith, as we talked about in the shoot-around. But what an opportunity for this roster to travel abroad, to open the season. Not everybody can say that, but what a treat also for the French.
And Maggie has more on how Cal is dealing with the travel this year.
So it's Cal's second year in the ACC, and all that cross-country travel means that they have really had to dial in on the details. Coach Smith said they hired a nutritionist and, get this, a sleep specialist to make sure that her players are in top form.
Maggie, thanks so much. Sleep specialist is something that I bet not too many programs have, but a team like Cal, you'll need it with all the trips to the East Coast they have to make. This is one of 4 East Coast trips they'll make. They have Boston College on Sunday, and then they go back home for a little bit, and then they head to Atlanta to face Georgia Tech later this month. As an N1 basket, do not count the basket, but there will be free throws for Ojukwu, and Coach Jack is not pleased with that, showing exactly how she wants her team to defend.
Well, she likes to lead by example, and what a great example she was given to the bench right there for Syracuse. This is a physical defense for Syracuse, and they've had a really good showing today. But Ojukwu, how about the fight today from down low? A 6-foot forward, holding her own really against Izoj today. Has done really well. Has found holes in the lane to finish down low as well. As that'll stay in the side of the Bears.
Ojukwu and Walker have 26 of Cal's 40 points, and you can tell that is where the offense is coming through, inside the paint. They get another possession here, looking to chip into that lead. Twydale tries from 3. She's 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. No offense or no defensive board for Syracuse, to the displeasure of Coach Jack, and Cal will have another opportunity to try and come away with some points. Shot clock trickling down. They get it into Ojukwu. On Izoj. Izoj wins the battle this time. Who comes up with the ball? It's a loose ball, a scrum for it. 3 players in the mix. Jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Syracuse. And Cal, you really needed some points there, getting all those extra possessions.
Izoj just too long right there in the low post, and nothing Ojukwu could do, as that was really solid defense. As you take a look at this scrum down low, you love that physicality from a young freshman. Doesn't matter who you are on the court, doesn't matter what your class is. You need to get dirty on the floor if you play for Coach Felicia Legette-Jack.
I think both teams today have shown their grit. Plenty of bodies hitting the deck. Ophelia tried to feed it into Scott. It's a turnover for Syracuse. Cal had numbers momentarily. How about that defensive effort from Layla Ophelia? She can do it on both ends of the floor. Kira Scott almost lost the possession, and now Syracuse can relax a bit. 3 blocks for the Orange, and Joseph, we talked about it all game. Defense is where it starts for Coach Jack and Syracuse.
It definitely is, and Layla Ophelia being a great scorer, showing what she can do, as you said, defensively, and Izoj with a turnaround J.
It gets the roll. Izoj doing what she does best. Those turnaround step backs have become so effective for the freshman this season.
I just can't imagine what she can grow into being if she's doing moves like that and scoring like she can at a young age.
Here's this defensive effort from Layla Ophelia off the turnover, and as though there was some contact maybe on the arm, but on the other end, Izoj looking so smooth and getting the bounce.
It's amazing too, at her young age, has really solid footwork, and you can attribute that to her experience playing in Japan from a young age, but I can't imagine what she could become when she gets more experience in the NCAA.
Nifty behind the back basket from Maul. She worked around Scott and wasn't even looking at it when she put that one up, and she'll head to the line for an N1 opportunity.
I tell you what, every time you think Cal may be down for the count, you have players like Gisela Maul saying they're not done just yet, putting their bodies on the line, getting knocked down and heading to the line for a 3-point play potentially.
The Orange already up to 4 fouls in this quarter. Something to keep an eye on. Of course, free throws is a great way to buy yourself back into games. Izoj, a nice feed to Burrows. Can't get the easy layup. We've seen a lot of easy layups missed today, either in transition or right under the basket. Twydale hoping for a 3, and finally, Twydale hits a 3, and that is a 3-pointer. Cal has won it all game long. If they heat up from beyond the arc, they're one of the best teams in the country there.
And all of a sudden, it's a 9-point game, AJ.
The lead was at 20. It's trickled all the way down to 9. Ophelia trying to answer back. Burrows as well. Those are the 2 best scoring options for the Orange. Burrows for 3 doesn't go. Almond got the rebound, and Cal thinks that was over the back. It was not. It'll stay with Syracuse.
I don't blame Coach Smith and the players in the low post for thinking that was over the back. It was very physical. You could argue it was physical on both sides.
And miscommunication on the inbounds. The Orange lucky to come up with it. Ophelia attempts the 3s, way off. The shooting slumps have been an issue for the Orange this season. The offense isn't flowing. That's when the defense really needs to generate their own points.
For sure, but I've been looking a lot at Coach Smith too, has not been happy at some of the calls down low, but also a little frustrated her team for not getting the boards off of Syracuse misses. They're giving them more chances to widen their lead in the closing stretch.
Michelle Amal now up to 4 fouls. Looking at Izose, and she goes right on the body of Ojukwu. It doesn't matter, it's an easy 2 for the freshman. Ojukwu looking to respond, doing the same thing on the other end. She'll head to the free throw line. Cal getting to the line here in this 4th quarter.
Syracuse following number 44.
Golden Bears with that foul are already in the bonus, so that's key midway through this quarter. And Izose picking up her first personal foul, joining Giselle Amal with 4 fouls. That's a big loss for the Orange. Their best presence inside the paint, their most offensive presence, no doubt, inside the paint. Will have to head to the bench midway through this 4th quarter with Cal chipping into a lead that Syracuse once had at 20.
Ojukwu was a MEAC newcomer of the year last season with Morgan State, an all MEAC second teamer, averaging 17 a game as she nails both free throws.
Cal just missed 1 free throw today. They haven't played the cleanest game, but have been nice from the line. Both teams have. Things tightening up here in this 4th quarter. Cal looking to step up on the defensive end, but that is a hard player to stop in Ophelia. She doesn't get the layup to fall that time. Stay with Syracuse. The last under the basket inbounds they had, it was a turnover. Well, it was nearly a turnover. Burroughs prevented it from being one. They find Almond. Darius. No, and the offense is run a little bit cold for the Orange here in this 4th quarter. Whiteout hit a 3 on her last trip. Defensive chance raining out from the dome, and they get rewarded with that. A steal from Burroughs, but another smoked layup for the Orange. They've had about 4 or 5 of those today. Cal trying to respond quickly, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll be Syracuse ball.
And you know Burroughs wants those back. You saw another one just a few minutes prior. Those are ones that you just cannot miss, especially at this stage of the 4th quarter. She gets the turnover. You just got to finish down low in transition, and she was right there, just overshot it. Still a 9-point game with 5.5 left to go.
Now well and truly in this game late in the 4th quarter. Syracuse looking to generate some offense. They go to Darius, and that's another turnover. It was a 3rd quarter offensive explosion from Syracuse. Cal turns it over this time. Turnovers have been an issue for both sides. The 4th quarter, Cal is buttoned up on the defensive end, and it's affected the Orange. Darius sneaking her way inside. A much-needed basket for the Orange.
That was a great possession, just to be calm. You were not in a rush. Just let your great point guard go to work, and that she did, driving down the lane.
Darius up to 8 points, and that one goes off of Burroughs' foot. It's a kick ball, and it'll be our first break here in the 4th quarter. It's a good 4th quarter. Don't go anywhere.
3-point attempts as we forecasted with California, really just 8 on the day. And even with those 8 attempts, not many have been falling, only 1 today as a team. But more of the same from Sophie Burrows and Layla Filia for this Syracuse offense.
Fourth quarters have been a problem for Cal all season. They've really struggled to score in the fourth quarter. That is not the case today. They've done really well in this quarter to make it a 9-point game with a little over 4 minutes left. Filia looking for 20 points. She's at 18 right now. It's been a focal point for SU's offense. And nearly got blocked by the freshman Barnes, but the foul goes and Allman will head to the free throw line.
Make that the 12th rebound for Ellen Mullen, her 8th offensive rebound. Excellent showing from the glass.
Rather, was not in the act of shooting, so it will be a inbounds under the basket. Syracuse looking to keep it under the basket, and all the starters are out there as they get another possession. The bench wants the three, and they get it. Sophie Burrows delivers from beyond the arc, knocking down her second triple of the day.
No hesitation. She may have smoked 2 layups, but that does not hurt her in one bit mentally. That's what we like to see from your shooter.
Twydale responds on the other end, and she's now hit back-to-back threes.
Twydale may be getting hot at the right time, AJ.
He's been a prolific three-point shooter all season long. Not today, as really the whole Golden Bears team has struggled to shoot from beyond the arc. Sophie Burrows, though, has been very effective from the three in the last 2 games. She hit 7 on Sunday, and as soon as she got this ball, the whole bench was asking for that three-pointer.
That's the type of support you need. Again, I talked about it earlier. The bench needs to be very much in this game. As you saw last week, the Hokies were almost really loud. You could hear them from the broadcast, just how loud they were as Joku, again, just physical down low, going for a three-point play.
Joku's had a really good game for Cal, and it's been all in the paint, getting the contact and plus the basket.
What a game today for Naya Juku. Again, I mentioned how great she was at Morgan State. Scoring should not come as a surprise in what she's doing in the Power 4 level.
Last year, she led the team with 17 points and 9 rebounds. This is the free throw there. And another rebound from Allman. She's in double figures there. Syracuse now can relax with possession. Defensive intensity's picking up as it will stay with Coach Jack calling a timeout. Things getting nervy here for the Orange late in the fourth. 7-point lead for Syracuse over Cal late in this fourth quarter. And for the Orange, things really pick up with a tough ACC slate in the next 5 games.
Absolutely, and this is why this game is so crucial for Syracuse and holding on, because it does get tough, as you mentioned. And that's why it's a little iffy sometimes in evaluating this team, because you can see what they can do offensively like they did against Virginia, what they can do here against California, but then they'll have a dud like they did last week against Virginia Tech. Consistency is how you get into the NCAA tournament, but so far it's been a really solid start in conference play for these Orange.
The Orange had a 20-point lead at one point this evening, but in the fourth quarter it is 18-9 in favor of Cal. Burrows again from 3, no luck, unlike she just knocked down the last one. Great save from Felia, but Burrows can't hang on to it. Twydale hustles the other way, and it'll be an easy 2 for Ojukwu, who continues to have a fantastic game. 19 points, 7 of 11 from the field.
Tell you what, you blink and all of a sudden it's a 5-point game for the Bears that have been trailing all game. They have not led one time against Syracuse today. They've once faced a deficit of 20.
Izose smokes the layup. There's been plenty of easy missed layups today. Cal again running out in transition, was looking for some contact. Izose gets the rebound. Izose is playing with fouls right now. She needs to be extra cautious. This is Cal getting out in transition. When they've done this today, it's been really effective.
And you're seeing a lot of Coach Jack, telling her team to get back on defense after her team misses a shot.
Head coach from Syracuse
has been taking advantage of that pretty much all day.
The on-floor ruling is California ball.
The officials there were seeing who it was off last. It's being ruled off Cal, but they're going to check to see who it goes off of last, and it is a critical possession. It's tight. It's whether it hit the fingertip of Maul. It definitely touched the fingers of Izose.
As close as it gets, AJ, and
it's got to be clear and conclusive to overturn it. And again, it is Cal's ball right now. That is the call on the floor. I don't know if we can see enough to say it to be overturned.
Exactly, and that's what you need if you want an overturn. That's why the ruling on the court is so crucial. If we get a closer look, Maul right here, let's see if it gets her left finger, possibly.
That's the only way, because I think it's definitely coming off of Izose, and our official Lisa Jones will give us the call when they've made up their minds, but they're still in in-depth conversation on whose ball this will be. And for Syracuse, it just hasn't been the third quarter was great, but this fourth quarter, they've just really put their foot off the gas on the offensive end.
And sometimes that's how basketball goes. It is a game of runs, but very surprised by the lack of urgency sometimes at the offensive side of the ball for Syracuse. And the times they have put up shots, they haven't been falling, even when they're higher percentage shots, as you've seen from Sophie Burrows missing a few layups, as OJ missing a layup here and there. If this team really wants to build in the conference, they really have to start being more consistent in the late stretches.
Officials are huddled up. They're finished looking at it. Call on the floor is Cal basketball, and right now the Golden Bears are on a 7-0 run. It was once a 20-point Syracuse advantage. As we just mentioned, it's been a dominant quarter from Cal, and he will send it back over to our official, who will have the calling.
After review, the play stands.
So it remains with Cal, and I think as we talked about, just isn't enough clear and conclusive evidence to overturn this to say it was last off of Cal, and I think they're going off of that motion from Izose.
Love to see how Cal attacks this defense of Syracuse in a 5-point game.
There's the trends of this one so far. Big possession here for Cal, getting it inside to Ojukwu. She's had a ton of success there today, not on this time. Olivia Schmidt getting late minutes here in the fourth quarter at point guard. Elman's had a great day on the boards. The Orange look for her to get some late points. Izoze working on Ojukwu. She has the mismatch. Doesn't get it to fall, though.
It's a great job by Ojukwu, not doing too much to possibly draw a foul against Izoje. She can draw fouls in the low post. Ojukwu undersized against a 6'3" center.
Ojukwu will now try her luck. She swings it out. Three is passed up by Donez. There's a three-pointer that does go from the freshman Taylor Barnes. Her first triple of the day, and it is a 2-point game with less than a minute to go.
Getting hot at the right time are these Bears, and that'll prompt the Syracuse crowd to get a little bit loud and proud in the Dome.
Dome crowd is getting on their feet with Felia in possession. Felia driving inside, looking for an option, finds Allman and doesn't get the layup to go. Izoze with the offensive board momentarily. There's a whistle. And a foul on Cal, a slap on the arm. Here's the three-pointer from the freshman Barnes.
Great find from Donez in the corner to Taylor Barnes, stud freshman for the Bears. And this is how you have to get back in the game. You got to knock down these open jumpers for California. But right here, you see Izoje getting another offensive board. Almond should have knocked down that easy lay down low. That has really cost these Orange in this fourth quarter, not knocking down the gimmies.
And Cal is needing to make a substitution as Shepard comes back in. They only had 4 players on the court. The foul goes on Maul. That was her 5th today. And I don't think Coach Smith is too pleased with the foul call. I didn't see a ton of contact from Maul. Now the head official, Lisa Jones, is having a discussion with Coach Jack.
The California head coach is appealing who the foul is on.
So Coach Smith wants to make sure they got the foul on the right player. The reason is because Giselle Maul had 4 fouls, so that was her 5th foul. Again, I didn't see a whole lot of, illegal contact, really. And if anything, that contact is coming from Ojukwu, so it really should not be Maul's 5th foul.
Yeah, so a smart protest and appeal right there for Coach Smith. As you were saying, with 4 fouls, trying to keep her player in the game that has really been.
The play stands.
So the officials do not overturn it, so Maul is disqualified with 5 fouls. And everyone from the Cal bench kind of gives a look over to the official, not too pleased with how that call went.
Well, now it's crunch time for both teams. Can't be nervous if you're these offenses to put shots up. You just got to find your open shot and let it rip if you're open.
And Walker is on the bench for Cal. She also has 4 personal fouls, and Burrows travels, the 3rd traveling violation today. Coach Jack had something to say to the official, not too happy. And it's a timeout for Cal. They were down as many as 20 points at one time in this game. They've crawled their way all the way back into it. What do the Golden Bears need to do late on here on the offensive end?
Well, firstly, they don't need to rush offensively at all. But if you do possibly put up a shot and miss, you have to crash the glass and put pressure on Syracuse to not have an easy transition bucket on the other end. Syracuse is really good in transition, as we've seen today with Felia, as we've seen today with other players such as Burrows sometimes. But California has really the momentum here as they've had in the fourth quarter, and so far they're showing so much fight basing off their coach and Coach Smith.
Syracuse has scored just 9 fourth quarter points compared to 23 for Cal. That has really been the difference. It looked as though the Golden Bears were dead in the water at the end of the 3rd. They have come out with a really strong fourth quarter and find themselves down just 2, and both teams do have timeouts to go to with 36 seconds left in this fourth quarter. And Cal is such an efficient three-point shooting team all season long. Threes weren't falling early on, but as of late from the freshman Taylor Barnes, getting to connect from beyond the arc.
And that's why as a coach, encourage your players to keep on shooting because eventually the shots will fall. It was a struggle in the first half for the Bears. And now it's paying dividends for their offense in the second half.
Big possession here for Cal, looking to tie this game or take the lead. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound for Ojokwu, and they have tied it. Timeout from Coach Jack. Cal has come all the way back. Twydale tried the three, it didn't go, but the offensive board from Ojokwu.
You talk about hustle for Nia Ojokwu. This is exactly what I was talking about. If you're going to miss a shot, if you're open, you got to crash the glass and put the pressure on Syracuse, and that is exactly what ended up happening for the Bears. Ojokwu has been a paint beast, especially in the second half. The transfer from Morgan State. And all of a sudden, we have a tie game with 26 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. The pressure is on Syracuse, and they have plenty of time to get the shot that they want to close this game.
The Orange at home after a big win Sunday against Virginia. They did lose to Virginia Tech here at home. Overall, though, it's just 2 defeats here in the Dome for the Orange. So looking to keep that strong home record here in Syracuse. Darius will inbound. No surprise, it goes right to Felia. She leads all scorers for Syracuse today. Darius letting the clock trickle down. Shot clock's turned off. Looks as though the game could possibly end with her. Felia works inside, trying to get something to go. It doesn't. Burrows flicks it up. That doesn't fall either, and we will need overtime.
Just so very close for this Syracuse offense, but what a way by this California defense to stay steady and not get shaken by Felia's drive as she tried to put up almost a prayer fading away near the free throw line. And also a great job in not fouling, especially down low off the offensive rebound with Uche Azoje.
Here was the last shot from the Orange, and it's something we've seen all day from Felia on that pivot foot, working her way into the paint.
For sure, and we've seen her play so well with that step through. She couldn't get that step through off, and it really was not a clean jumper, as we've seen sometimes from her. She tried to get that one off, but she almost lost her balance.
And then Burrows was not that far off either. The rebound just kind of fell right into her lap.
So very close here in the Sports Hall. The ball going in and scoring some places is a game of inches here and there. That was as close as you can get right there. I'm just so proud of California and how they have fought and clawed all the way back to play for overtime. This is a team that could have absolutely given up after the first half and some part in the third quarter when it was almost Syracuse the entire quarter.
Syracuse's last overtime game was against SMU. They lost by a point. That came just about a year ago. So an extra 5 minutes of basketball from the Dome. Izose and Ojokwu will jump. And Syracuse controls. Izose, that fadeaway doesn't fall there. It's been effective all game long, though. And again, bodies hitting the floor. It's Allman on the deck, and I think that's the 4th or 5th time that she has been on the floor today.
It's Syracuse's time just to play free. Now that you have another period of free basketball, the pressure is a little bit lessened in a way that you don't feel like you're letting a game slip away. You have a full 5 minutes to get your offense right where you want it again. You saw them get an offensive board nearly, as that was a jump ball. But this is a great opportunity for Syracuse to take over, but it's any woman's ball game, as you saw.
And for Cal, interestingly, Sakima Walker is on the bench to start this overtime play. Ojokwu has done excellent in this game. She's getting to the free throw line once again. She has been the focal point for the Golden Bears all game long on the offensive end.
And this backcourt is just finding her because she's just been so dominant. Syracuse has hardly had an answer. Naya Joku has, again, been a beast, especially in the second half. Just incredible down low and so efficient as well.
Searching for her 22nd point at the free throw line.
This is a player in the Joku who averages 7 points a game. But today, she's looking like how she did, especially last year with Morgan State, averaging 17 a game. Well above even that average from last season.
Clutch free throws from Ojokwu. And Syracuse makes some substitutions as Journey Thompson comes in for Aurora Almond, who has done excellent on the glass today and plenty of hustle plays. Dome crowd still standing as Syracuse looks for their first bucket in the extra session, a whistle. And it goes on the Golden Bears. Lola Donez picking it up.
Team limit of 5. Syracuse will be in the bonus.
That puts the Orange in the bonus, so free throws from here on out for both sides. Cal knocked down 2 clutch free throws. Now Syracuse. Well, they need to do the same, but they don't.
Syracuse has looked just a little bit rattled in this fourth quarter and partially through this overtime period, but Darius knocks down her second free throw.
Important note, Uche Ozoje is playing with 4 fouls, so she has to be extra cautious on the defensive end. Feed inside to Ojokwu, and it is just too easy for Ojokwu. She's got all of the Golden Bears points in this fourth quarter, up to 25 on the day.
It's just automatic down low from Naya Joku right now. There's a reason why they're doing everything they can to find her down low, because the Orange have not had an answer.
Finally, Syracuse gets off the mark from the field, and it's Uche Ozoje making it a 1-point game. Cal looking for an answer. They heat it up from beyond the arc, but they're going back inside. Offensive foul this time. So Ojokwu can't find any luck this trip, but this has been her bread and butter and really everything Cal's been doing in this game.
A little too physical right there for Naya Joku, getting her shoulder down. And Burrows wisely just letting the contact come to her, as now it goes the other way.
Jose got the last points for Syracuse, looking to do it again. Gets her own miss, second chance goes in. And the Orange retake the lead. Ojokwu surrounded by tons of white jerseys, can't get it to go. Cal comes up with it. They've had plenty of second chance points today, and they get more here. Twydale thinking 3, maybe working inside. Feeds it inside to Shepard. Difficult shot from the guard, and it bounces to the Orange. Syracuse can stretch their lead. These two ACC foes going back and forth. Cal got the better of Syracuse last year in Berkeley. The Orange trying to make sure they can defend home court here. Haven't seen too much of Filia. It's been all Izoze in this overtime period. She loses the ball momentarily there. It will be Cal basketball as more bodies hit the deck. And Filia has had a tough game. Both players are still down, Filia and Donez.
Sure hope everyone can make it out of this game healthy, as it's been very physical. You've seen a lot of bodies diving on the floor again as Filia and Donez were writhing in pain momentarily. How fun has this final stretch been since halfway through the fourth quarter? California still showing so much fight in the closing stage, and Syracuse saying, and we may have let this game slip by in the fourth quarter, but we're not done yet.
At halftime, it did not look like this game was destined for overtime. as Coach Smith is protesting something to the officials. She's been unhappy with a few calls. Golden Bears have possession. Looks to be probably one of the foul.
Last time Naya Joku got the ball, she was being triple teamed, and now Sakima Walker checked back into the game.
Walker's been just as effective inside as Ojoku, but Cal turns it over there. The turnovers were a problem in the first 3 quarters for the Golden Bears. They didn't turn it over much in the 4th quarter, and that's what helped them get back into the game. Burrows has had some big buckets today. Going inside with Jose. Thompson comes up with a big offensive board. Both of these teams have found their way to second chance opportunities all game long.
26 offensive rebounds for Syracuse today.
And Layla Filia is not moving that well, just hanging out in the corner as Darius can't get the layup to go. Vidal looking to move inside, gives it to Donez, who looks to be okay after that hard foul. Approaching a minute left in overtime. Inside to Walker, immediately double team. Shepard for 3. Can't get it to go, but Cal once again comes up with it. Walker can't get it to can't get it to go, and Syracuse comes away with it. 2 big misses there for the Golden Bears.
You can feel the anxiousness offensively for both teams as Sakima Walker was frantically trying to put that shot back up. Now we're under a minute here, and let's see if Syracuse can close with a point lead.
Jose facing up Walker, going inside, winning the battle. Syracuse expands their lead in overtime, and Cal needs to talk about it. It started on the defensive end for the Orange, getting the defensive rebound, which hasn't always been easy.
We haven't seen as many offensive rebounds for sure for California as Syracuse, but on the offensive side of the ball for Syracuse, here's the young Zoje putting it up, putting it in late in this ball game, and now Syracuse has a 3-point lead. And I got to say, for Coach Sharman Smith, she was saying after halftime she thinks her team can do a lot of things better than they did out of that first half. I don't think, you know, really no matter how this game ends, whoever wins, I really think that she could really think that they did end up doing that, because her team has fought all the way back from being down 20. I think she'd be pleased with how this game ends up, no matter if they win or lose here.
And Layla Filia was getting tended by some of the trainers holding her back. She will not come back into this game at the moment. She's on the corner of the bench getting tended to by the Syracuse training staff. She rolled her ankle back in the 2nd quarter, now is holding her back. It's just been a really challenging game for the 5th-year player. And that's a big loss for the Orange late in this game. Filia has been their best scorer. She leads all scorers for Syracuse today with 18 points. Big opportunity for Cal here, down 3. Going to work is Twidell. Behind the back pass, almost, and Shepard could get that 3 to go, but gets the layup to fall, and Coach Jack now calls a timeout. There'll be 1 timeout remaining for both sides with 34 seconds left.
Great concept offensive for California right there, and great cut down low from Miracle Shepard to get the open lay and make this a 1-point game. For here, I think it's more of the same for Syracuse as you saw at the end of regulation. They can find a way to get their own shot. I don't think they have to rush this by any means. Find a way to get an open shot. You're going to see them probably hold the ball for a good chunk of this possession coming up. No need to rush this at all as there's 34.9 left. Find an open shot and shoot confidently. There's no need to rush.
And at the end of the 4th quarter, it was Filia who got the ball. She is still getting tended to on the bench, so who else does Coach Jack go here? Sophie Burrows, maybe?
Possibly Sophie Burrows, or going back to your bread and butter down low and the stud freshman Uche Zoja. I can see both for Coach Jack offensively, but what an opportunity it would be for Burrows here, who has had her struggles with confidence shooting the rock. If she could come clutch with a potential shot here, imagine how much that could boost her confidence going down this ACC tournament stretch.
Burrows is 1 for 4 from 3. Not saying Syracuse needs a 3 here, but she can knock it down. 5 of 13 on the day. Ijose, meanwhile, 9 of 21 from the field. She has a double-double with 19 points and 11 rebounds.
And also for California's defense, this is not a pressure to potentially intentionally foul as well. You can just play standard defense here. As long as you play great defense and not surrender an offensive rebound, you're just as much in this ball game as Syracuse.
Cal searching for their second conference victory. They got their first on Sunday against Wake Forest. The Orange are 4-2 in ACC play. And the officials have gone to the monitor. They're just checking the clock, making sure the seconds are right. Of course, every second matters in overtime, especially in a close game. And it kind of gives the teams an expanded timeout to even further talk about things. And this is what the officials are looking at, just to make sure they know how much time's left. And it should probably be 35 seconds. There were 34.9, so add a few more ticks on.
The clock has been adjusted to 35.2.
Second can make all the difference.
Absolutely, and you've seen some great shots be off in 0.4 seconds. Sometimes you've seen some shots be thrown in from an inbound and be tapped in with 0.3, 0.2 sometimes. Every millisecond matters, and it's a great move for the officials to correct that.
Darius will inbound for Syracuse. It goes to Ijose, and she is immediately fouled. Joseph, you said Cal, it wasn't necessarily a foul situation for Cal, but that's what Coach Smith decides to go with.
And you can do that as well, and I understand her philosophy in doing that. Fouling quick and saving plenty of time for what your offense can do in the other end, and seeing if Izoja can knock down her free throws. It is a one-point game. So even if she knocks down both free throws, still have an opportunity to tie this ball game.
Big free throws here for the freshman.
Coach Smith is telling her team to box out and playing the miss or a potential miss from Izoja after that first miss.
The Orange have just missed 2 free throws today. And Ijose goes 0 for 2, but Sophie Burrows a big offensive rebound and another foul on Cal.
And make it 28 offensive rebounds for Syracuse. Just unbelievable offensively. And Sophie Burrows coming in clutch. We mentioned how sometimes when your shots aren't falling, there's other ways to impact a game. That's what she can do right there. Giving her team a chance, and now a much better free throw shooter in Dominique Darius going to the line to potentially make this a 3-point game.
The Orange, they average an ACC best 18 offensive rebounds, and that's 3rd best in the country. And Darius knocking in a free throw to make it a 2-point game. Both go for the point guard, and Cal will need a bucket here, and they first call a timeout. Their last one of this overtime period, a 30-second timeout. Cal, they've gone inside most of this game. Is that where they go here, or do you need the big 3-point bucket?
Well, you definitely don't have to rush for a 3-pointer here. You can go back to your same philosophy if you're Coach Sharman Smith, possibly going down low to Naya Jokwu or Sakima Walker down low for a quick 2 down low. They've been so dominant in the low post, and then fouling whoever gets the ball off the inbound for Syracuse and keep playing the foul game. So they don't have to try to tie this game here for a 3, and I believe that's what Coach Smith is stressing in the huddle right now in this California timeout. There's still plenty of time in this overtime period. 31 is a very long time in basketball. So I'm interested to see where they go here. I do think they'll go in the low post to Jokwu, who's been so great. He's guarded by Thompson right now as it stands.
It'll be Donez to inbound it for the Golden Bears. Shepard receives. She's in the floor general all day for Cal. This time she's looking to go inside, and they do with Ojukwu. She can't get that one to go. That was the type of layup that she's gotten to go all game long. It'll be Syracuse ball, and it's a big miss there from Ojukwu.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. She's been almost automatic all day long for this offense of California. But Miracle Shepherd with a good feed and the bounce down low, and Ojukwu just let it go way too far off her left hand. And you know she wants that one back. It could have been a 1-point game. And now Syracuse right in the driver's seat in a 3-point lead with 22.6 left, trying to close this game and not let another one slip through their fingers.
So both teams have exercised all their timeouts. And the Orange, the key will just be not to turn it over. And that's not a good sign as Layla Filia heads to the locker room. She rolled her ankle in the second quarter and then was holding her back. That is what took her to the sideline most recently, but it was such a tough Filia today. Jose receives it and she gets fouled. Missed both free throws in her last trip. Looking to right the wrong here. It's been another big game from the freshman, who's already been named ACC Rookie of the Week. But is now 0 for 3 in her last three free throw attempts.
You have to make the gimmies in this stretch. So far, missing her last 3.
That one gets the lucky bounce. Syracuse makes substitutions, putting in Shy Hawkins, trying to get as much size as they can. Gomez hands it back off to Shepherd. Shepherd uses her pace. From the 3 is Twydell. It goes! Twydell with her biggest bucket of the night. It's a 1-point game with 12 seconds left. And another foul for Syracuse as Darius will head to the line.
Just clutch. Lulu Twydell from the corner. Left open on an island. And that's just too easy. She'll take that all day as Sophie Burrows fell near the sideline. What a pass, and what a feed again from Miracle Shepherd. You saw a great bounce pass off that missed layup with Naya Ojukwu, but a great feed wrapping around the goal to still make this a 1-point game.
Darius has been clutch from the line all game long. Again, knocks down both free throws. 4 for 4 from the line for Darius. Cal's got to move. Down 3. Shepherd has it. Twydell, another 3. And 5!